Welcome to Totally Abstracted. I'm Michelle, and today's episode is all about inspiration. Specifically, how famous artists have used mixed media in their abstract landscapes to push boundaries, explore emotion, and create depth. So whether you're curious about incorporating some new materials or just need a creative spark, this episode is for you. So what do we mean by mixed media in abstract landscapes? Mixed media is simply the use of more than one material in a single artwork. Think acrylics with graphite, collage with pastels, or ink layered over textured paste. In the realm of abstract landscapes, mixed media becomes a tool of translation. It allows artists to take a place, a memory, a feeling, and interpret it not just with colour and shape, but with material presence. Mixed media is tactile, it's layered, it holds history in every mark, every embedded fragment. And that's what makes it so powerful in abstract landscape painting. It reflects the layered nature of the land itself: earth, time, erosion, and memory. So let's begin with a bold one, Anselm Kiefer. His monumental abstract landscapes often include lead, straw, sand, ash, and shellac, all embedded in thick sculptural layers. These are not just aesthetic choices. For Kiefer, these materials carry emotional and historical weight, often referencing destruction, war, rebirth, and mythology. When you look at one of his mixed media works, you feel time pressing in. The landscape becomes a record of trauma, memory, and survival, deeply atmospheric. So there's a lot of works from Kiefer you could explore, but a good place to start is with To the Unknown Painter from 1983, which incorporates some architectural references and mixed materials. And the creative takeaway here, I think, is try using found natural materials, maybe sand, ash or soil, to introduce a symbolic or textural element into your next piece. Let the material carry meaning, not just texture. So next up is Joan Erdley, whose seascapes and weather-beaten fields are full of grit and energy. She would mix sand directly in her paint to give a sense of like the froth of the water, often collecting materials directly from the land she painted. Her expressive marks were informed by the weather too. Rain would splash into the paint as she worked outdoors, and that spontaneity became part of the painting. So she didn't try to tame the landscape in her work, she collaborated with it. And a good piece to look at for this is The Wave from 1961, where sand is mixed into white paint, and also her Cataline Seascape series. The creative takeaway here is try painting outside in the place you love. Let the wind, the light, or even the rain influence how you work. Embrace the elements as co-creators. Next is Richard Diebenkorn. Best known for his Ocean Park series, Diebenkorn often explored shifts between abstraction and landscape. In his smaller works on paper, he combined gouache, ink, pencil and collage to explore layered compositions. And he used collage not just as decoration, but to alter spatial relationships. So a torn piece of coloured paper could suggest a new horizon or interrupt a pattern, nudging the eye in unexpected directions. You could start by exploring his Barclay abstracts on paper. The creative takeaway here is maybe use collage to introduce spatial contrast in your work. Tear paper intuitively, layer with gesso, or obscure parts with paint. Next is Barbara Ray, who creates semi-abstract landscapes that balance strong colour with earthy grounding. She often mixes acrylic, collage, glazes and drawing. In fact, drawing especially plays a role in her compositions. There's a printmaking sensibility in her work, layered marks, overlapping shapes, and a bold use of contrasting textures. And you might see delicate ink lines scrawled over thickly painted surfaces. It's hard to say which works to start with, maybe her Scottish landscape series from the 1980s onwards as a jumping off point. The creative takeaway here is experiment with drawing back into your painting once it's semi-dry. Use a stick, a pencil, or even the end of a brush to introduce linear energy on top of the colour fields. And our number 5 artist is Kurt Jackson. His mixed media landscapes often include mud, river water and plant matter, reflecting the ecological and spiritual significance of the places he paints. What's powerful about his work is that it's very site-specific. He's not just painting a place, he's bringing the place into the painting. Start at his website and you'll be lost and absorbed for hours. And the creative takeaway is, take a walk before your next painting session and gather a few items. Maybe charcoal from a burnt stick, dried petals, even sand. Add them into your surface preparation or your collaged underlayer and let the land be part of the process. Now, each of these artists use mixed media, not just for variety or visual interest, but to convey emotion, memory and story. And that's what makes it so compelling for us as abstract landscape artists. It allows us to add depth and dimension, introduce contrast and surprise, embed meaning and metaphor, and invite intuition and play. Mixed media is also about trust. Trusting that the materials will speak, that the layers will evolve, and that accidents will reveal something truer than a perfectly planned image. It's also about openness, being open to change mid-process, open to the landscape emerging rather than being dictated. For this week's creative challenge, I'd love you to create a small mixed media abstract landscape using at least one material you don't normally use. That could be collage or torn paper, graphite, pencil or ink, texture paste or sand, a natural material from a walk, or even just scratching back into the paint surface. Don't overthink it. This is about experimentation, not perfection. Let the materials guide you, respond with feeling, and see what emerges. And if you feel like sharing, post your piece in my Abstract Horizons community. The link is in the show notes. I'd love to see what you create. Mixed media opens up a world of possibility in abstract landscapes. It helps us connect with the land in new ways, express emotion through texture, and invite surprise into our process. When we study the greats like Kiefer, Erdely, Diebenkorn, Ray and Jackson, we're reminded that materials carry meaning. So why not bring that same curiosity into your own practice? You might find that a bit of grit, a scrap of paper, or a line drawn with your eyes closed reveals something deeply true. Thank you for joining me today on Totally Abstracted. Until next time, stay inspired, trust your process, and keep things totally abstracted.